Hey, 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 y'all. It's Friday. Welcome to another episode of Play with Your Dick, Not Me. Episode 18. Yeah. Episode 18. But I think this is going to be a pre-recording and I will release this on Monday. I am just feeling really good today. Really, really good. Like I said in the last episode 17, I think I had said something near the end of the episode that like I really do feel like things are gonna turn a corner and just start getting better. Like I can just feel it. I have like this weird inner knowing weird inner knowing, and I don't know how to explain it. I kind of just acquired it over the last year. It's probably all part of my spiritual gifts coming to the forefront after going through my spiritual awakening. But I'll just get this weird inner knowing. But this one, it's hard to explain, but it's just like, I don't know, everything inside my body, inside my soul just felt like a hug. Like it just felt like there was magic swirling through me. I don't know if any of that even got. Probably not. It was weird because like it just the recording line just went flat, so it probably didn't even pick up the conversation. That's okay. Sorry. Tiger called me. He's at work. But because I don't have my car right now, when he gets home, I need him to take us to the grocery store. And, he's worked all day. I've worked all day. And so he's just tired. And he's like, "Are you sure you got to go grocery shopping?" Like, yes, babe, we do. We got to get a couple things. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know. But, what was I saying? But yeah, I don't know how to explain it. For me, it feels like there's like magic flowing through my body, and it just feels like light and love and happiness, and I'll feel it from like my head to my feet, and I'll just have this weird inner knowing that like everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna start getting better, and yeah, like that's the best I can explain it. It feels like there's like sparkles like just flowing through me, and so yeah, let's hope. And I kind of reached a pivotal moment of clarity last night and then this morning. I mean, I'm not, I feel like I like leveled up on this spiritual journey. I mean, I don't think I'm at the end. I don't think I have it all figured out, obviously. But I feel like I've reached a pivotal point that I'm hoping is going to like unlock these like shackles that I feel have been on me for like the past year and some change, just trying to go through this difficult journey. Oh, and I'm your host, Sadie, by the way, aka Capricorn Clark. I always forget to introduce myself. I just operate from a place where I just think the whole world knows who I am, and I know that I have new listeners coming through like Amazon Music and stuff like that. So my name is Sadie, aka Capricorn Clark. This is my podcast, Play with Your Dick, Not Me. But I just jump right in, and then I go, oh, I didn't even introduce myself. But anyways, it's so weird because I've delved into the I don't know, the dialogue, the text, the information that's out there around, and I had a podcast episode about it a few episodes back. It was called Run, Don't Walk Away from an Avoidant. So like I've kind of like delved into this, researched attachment styles, anxious, avoidant, anxious attachment, and I know like anxious avoidants kind of get a bad rap, and they kind of get vilified, and I understand why. because like the way they go about things is very hurtful. Like I understand that they're just operating from a place of like safety, and they kind of just like their nervous system just kind of shuts down when someone is like just trying to love them and show them love, and they're operating from a place of like, oh my god, this is so scary, and they just shut down and like disappear or block you or ignore you or whatever. And the anxious attachment is like, what the fuck did I do? Like I was just trying to show you love. I was just trying to be there for you. I was just trying to show up for you in all the ways, that I show up for people that I care about and I love. Why are you treating me like I'm too much, or I'm a lot, or that love is, my love is scary, and so like I've watched like different TikTok videos and Facebook videos and stuff like that, and I've read things because it kind of falls in line with uh the kind of spiritual journey I was thrust on with this other person, just kind of forced on. But there's a lot of inner similarities in that journey that falls in line with anxious avoidant, anxious attachment, and all of that. And so, like I said, I've watched videos, I've read about it, and then nothing has quite resonated like this gentleman who I found his videos by accident last night. And then I kind of just went down a rabbit hole and was watching a ton of his videos on his Instagram page. As usual, because I'm horrible with remembering names and relaying information, I don't remember what his page is called, but I can like add it to the description later. But he just delivered this information to me in the most loving yet harshest way, and something just clicked in me. And I just woke up feeling so much clarity, so much better understanding this morning, that I'm like, okay, maybe I can finally fully detach from myself and move on. And so what he made me realize, which I kind of started questioning myself, but I don't know, I guess I needed it to be delivered in this way, is that anxious attachment types tend to project their mother wound or their father wound onto an anxious avoidant. Maybe they even project them onto like other anxious attachment people or secure people, but it probably that secure person or that anxious attachment person probably is better like regulated or familiar with it, that they can I don't know, help calm their insecurities, I guess, or calm their I don't know, but I just know, because I feel like two anxious attachment people work very well together, because I think Tiger and I are both anxious attachment, and because we are both operating from a place of like, we get insecure sometimes and we have to reassure one another and make sure, ask, and, like, because we both get in this headspace where we're like, do you still love me? Do you still want me? Like, am I still all you want? Like, and like, we both will do that sometimes, even though the other person's behavior hasn't changed or anything, but you need reassurance. And anxious attachment people, I feel like, are the perfect, individuals to be able to, because they want to give love so much and they want to be loved so much, and they're very like comfortable in their own skin in regards to, if I'm too much, go find less. And I mean, well, that's the place that they have to get to. That would be a healed anxious attachment, is that like, they're going to give you love, they're going to show love, and they're going to be unapologetic about it, and they're not going to be ashamed of their heart. I think that's a healed anxious attachment person. Maybe a more unhealed anxious attachment person is going to shrink themselves and dim their light and be like, well, what did I do wrong? I was just trying to show you love. But I feel like a healed or healing anxious attachment person, they're not going to think that their partner is too much or too needy or anything like that. They're going to be like, okay, I understand that my partner is feeling a little insecure right now. I need to make sure I fill them up in all the areas that they're, feeling unsure about, and make sure that I remind them how much they mean to me and how much I love them and stuff. But yes, from the way this man, I think he was like, he might have been even some sort of like doctor or something. The way he delivered this information to me, even though I've heard it in different variations and stuff and started questioning it myself, yes, from what I'm learning is that anxious attachments will project their father or mother wound typically onto anxious avoidance. And that's kind of why they end up running. And then the anxious attachment ends up chasing. And that's what I did in my connection with this individual, that I feel, and I've had tons of validation and proof of this, that I share like a spiritual connection with. And the exact same thing happened to us. But at the time, I didn't realize what I was doing, and I didn't realize what was happening to me. But going as far as I have on this journey and learning what I have learned, yes, I absolutely projected my father wound onto him. And we're not in communication. He doesn't speak to me anymore. I'm actually blocked on everything. And I understand why, and I respect him needing space and distance. But for me, at the end of the day, it was always about, I just really miss my friend. So all that aside, like, if I was given the opportunity to ever, I would absolutely want to apologize to him, because that had to have been extremely overwhelming and hard for him to take in, that I was projecting my fatherhood onto him. He had triggered something in me for whatever reason. I think maybe because I had admired so much about what a great dad he was, and I think it made me realize in all the ways that my own father didn't show up for me. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I remember just being enamored and thinking that it was a very like admirable trait in him, that he showed up for everything having to do with his kids, and that he loved his kids so much. And when he would speak about them, he would just light up at everything. And like, I don't know, but there's so much more to it, just because we have this like soul tie to one another. So there's a lot more that went into it. But now that I understand what I understand and how far I've moved along on my spiritual journey and my healing journey, I can recognize now that yes, I projected my father wound onto him, and it then persuaded him to run, and then me chase, because I didn't understand why my friend suddenly didn't want to talk to me anymore, suddenly didn't want to be around me anymore, just suddenly kicked me out of his life. So yeah, like, I absolutely apologize and am sorry for that. What kind of like pain and hurt or whatever that could have caused him, or even triggered for him, because he was a mirror for me and I was a mirror for him. So I imagine that had to have been like terrifying and triggering and painful for him, because I'm holding up a mirror to him and showing him all of his wounds that he needs to heal. He was putting up a mirror to me and showing me all my wounds that I needed to heal. So, but irregardless, like, I'm very sorry to him. But coming to like this pivotal realization and clarity and all that, I woke up feeling like amazing. Like, not that I have it all figured out, but that I've leveled up on this healing spiritual journey, because I've come to this realization. Because over the past almost 2 years, I have been on an accelerated healing journey, and I have done so much work, so much inner work, so much inner child work, shadow work, healing and working through my father wounds, my mother wounds, and all other wounds that I have. But I don't believe you're ever done. I don't believe you're ever done healing. Just like the way I look at the world, view the world is so different than I did 2 years ago. There's people that I no longer really resonate or relate with anymore. I wish them well, hope they heal, but like my mindset has like shifted just greatly. I naturally gravitated to like spirituality and like healing and on different types of practices and stuff. And I'm just all about wanting to have inner union with myself and reaching like, um, you know, the most like higher me, the most, have union with my highest self, my highest, inner self, and, reconnected with the divine, in my own unique way. This will go over a lot of people's heads. They won't understand what the fuck I'm talking about, and that's okay. That just means that this hasn't happened to you. You haven't met someone that became the catalyst for all your healing. Everybody has this person, and everyone has a soul twin that is in another vessel that, depending on where you are in your healing journey in every lifetime, they will eventually come forward and, be that mirror and be that catalyst for your journey. And other people, their catalyst may be a very traumatic event that happened to them, like a death, or, they lost a loved one or something, or were in a horrible accident. Like, the catalysts come in different forms, but for me, it came in the form of a person who matched my soul, but they were in another vessel. So it was just a whole thing, broke me completely open, was the saddest I'd ever been in my entire life. Have never cried more than in the past 2 years, but a lot of that crying was due to me being broken open and being forced to heal. So, I thank this person for the journey. I thank them for being the catalyst and being the mirror. And I'm just going to continue living my life and being on my journey. And I hope, the best for them, and that they're happy, thriving, healing, living their life. So anyways, I woke up feeling really fucking good today, and I haven't felt this good in a long time, because this is what I've been wanting to get back to the whole time, is getting back to me, finding me again, finding my spark, being reacquainted with my spark. And I'm really feeling like today is day one, and it feels amazing. It feels amazing. Because all I've wanted this whole time is to get back to myself, and I think that's the greatest gift that you can give yourself, and I guess somebody else can give you, is the gift of being able to find yourself again. But anyways, switching gears, so like I said, the little break that I took, I had been, writing down topics for episodes. So this one, it's kind of similar to the last one about like, I'm finally safe. Why am I now crashing out? Basically, like, why is my trauma catching me? This one is more talking about, when you aren't used to, adjusting to a good man when you've had bad ones. And so it's a little similar to the last one, but not really. And I'm speaking from experience, because Tiger was the first great man that ever blessed and graced my life. After having failed relationships and being with fuckboys and having my time wasted and going on like dating websites and then going on dates with guys who completely disrespected me. All they wanted was to like get in my pants and then like tell me that I'm their girlfriend, but then after they got what they wanted, like disappear or just suddenly ghost me or get really flaky or only text me or call me when they wanted something, usually sex. And I was not used to that. Like, I've always been a relationship type girl. I've always been a long-term relationship type girl. And so after my oldest daughter's dad and me trying to navigate the dating world, like, it was very foreign for me. I don't understand games. I don't know how to play them. I I was never good at that stuff. And I remember like talking to my best friend Spencer a lot, and because he's very good at playing games. Like, he's very good at playing the game, like don't hate the play, hate the game, like that. Like, he was good at that. I mean, there were times where there were girls that baffled the shit out of him and they were playing the game better than he was. But for the most part, I would usually take my advice from him. Like, okay, like this guy has not, we hung out on Friday and then he hasn't texted me back for a couple days, even though he said he would. Like, what do I do now? And I never, and I understood that the person that like had the ball, it was in their court, that they basically held all the power. I knew that the person that pretended like they cared the least had all the power, which is like such a fucked up dynamic. But I understood that enough. Like, I had been like played around enough. I remember there was this one guy, like, I was in cosmetology and barbering school, and I remember, and this is how out of my element I was, like how naive and how young and just not understanding like dating and being like, like a fuck buddy with somebody and everything. Like, I was so out of my depth because I was just used to being a girlfriend. I was used to being with somebody for like a couple years. And I remember, like, I don't even remember, like, I don't know. Like, I think I told my friends I liked him, and like I was trying to be bold and kind of talk to him. I don't remember how it got started at all, and it's really not even important. But I just remember that it got to the point where, and I was taking the bus then, and I lived in Tooele, and I was taking the bus to Salt Lake every day for school. And I remember I would stay after school to go hook up with him. And like, he would like drive me to his apartment and, we would hook up. And then there was a couple of times where I think he actually drove me all the way home. Yeah, I don't think I ever had to catch the bus home. I think each time he did drive me home. But like, it was all on the low because he had been dating some woman that like lived in another city or something. And so it was more like I was like his side piece or something because this girl lived far away and he didn't see her very often. That much I kind of understood. But then I remember at some point I kind of started understanding the game a little bit better, because I remember there would be times where he would hit me up because he needed something, and I was like, nope, busy, because I was already hooking up with somebody else. And so that was me getting a little bit better at playing the game, because it was like, nah, nigga, I'm not dropping everything that I'm doing to go hook up with you. Like, we're not doing that. And I remember like patting myself on the back, like, Mercedes, you're getting this, like, you're figuring this out, because normally I would have been like, all right, I'm on my way, or come pick me up, and I was like, no, like, I'm busy. And I remember him like begging, and I'm like, no, bro, like, but I didn't want to like give it away that like I'm about to like hang out with somebody else, and but I remember getting in my feelings because I had went to a club with my friends, and he was there, and I was lit, because if I hadn't have been, I don't even think I would have walked up and said hi to him. But I walked up and said hi to him, and he like was like, hey, like, now's not a good time. And that was communicated to me that his girl was with him. And sure enough, she was. And I remember getting so in my feelings and getting so hurt and so upset, and thinking later, like, I remember I had a friend who like sent me like a song. It was by Casely, and it was called Emotional or something, like talking about like, I didn't expect to see you in this club. Every time I see you, I get so emotional. And I remember like at the time that hit hard. Like that shit was like, it resonated. But looking back on it, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I didn't have any feelings for this guy, but because I'm an empath, because I'm a fucking giver. I'm a what's the word? An Enneagram number 2. I'm a giver. Like, I love hard. I love with my entire heart. Like, I walk around with my heart outside my body because I feel deeply and I fall quickly and hard. Even though I didn't actually have genuine feelings for this guy, I just remember like feeling some kind of way about it and then just being like, all right, fuck him. And then I think after that, I just stopped talking to him. But looking back on it, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, why did you even care? Why do you even care? Like, who cares? You guys were just fucking. That was it. Like, it was just sex. Like, why the fuck do you care? But that was me. That was young, early 20s me. Like, I just, if you spent enough time with me, and I was probably going to catch feelings, and that's not a bad thing. People that like fall hard and easy, like, don't let anybody make you feel like there's something wrong with you, because there's not. You just have a big ass heart, and that's beautiful. The right person will respond to it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. I wasted my time on several dumb boys who, weren't, meant for me. And what is meant for you will not miss you. Like, it'll show up right on time. It's yours. Like, what is meant for you is not going to pass you by, and what isn't for you, that's okay. Bye. You don't need it anyway. It may take you some time to realize you don't need it, but you don't need it. But what is meant for you, that shit's not going to miss you. Like, it's coming. It's coming. Or it's coming back around. But whatever is meant for you, it's not going to pass you by. Okay? And none of these people were meant for me. And it wasn't until Tiger came into my life that became abundantly clear. I remember after getting with Tiger, when I would try to think about my dating life before him, it felt very foggy. Very foggy. It felt like it was like a different lifetime. Like, literally, it felt like I dreamt it and it never actually happened. It was a very weird feeling, but it just, all those people that ever hurt me, they just kind of fell away. It kind of fell away. And I remember thinking, coming to the realization, that's why it never worked out with any of those other guys, because it wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to be with Tiger. Cause yeah, I had, I had some decent friends back then who like were a phone call away and would come over with like a case of like wine coolers or whatever anytime something went left with some guy that I was like dating. Like, I remember there was this other guy. I met him on Plenty of Fish, and I think I've talked about him in a past episode. I don't remember, but everything was going good, and I could literally tell you the exact moment that he was like, oh shit, and then he ghosted me. We had been hanging out that evening. I think we were like wrestling on my bed, just like joking around, and he was like tickling me and stuff. And I remember feeling something, and I felt him feel that something for a split second too. And it was like, oh shit, okay, feelings are being formed. And I think that scared the shit out of him, because he wasn't actually trying to be tied down to anybody. He was still going to the club like every fucking night and stuff. But after that evening, he fucking ghosted me. And I remember I cried about it for like, I don't know, like a month. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember at all. At all. And it was ridiculous. Like, I would take my daughter to school, and then I'd be on the bus on my way to work, and I'd just be crying every fucking day. And then I'd go to bed at night and cry because I don't do well with being ghosted. I don't do well with being ignored. It completely crumbles my being. And I start to lose myself, and I start to wonder about my worth and why someone just threw me away. And it really fucks me up mentally. It's a very cruel thing to ghost someone or suddenly ignore somebody. So fucking cruel. And so I don't remember exactly how long it was. And he wasn't completely ignoring me. I would call him and he would answer, but he would pretend to be his brother and claim that he moved to California. It was so stupid. But in reality, he was just back on Plenty of Fish trying to hit up other girls. And I found that out later. And it was like so stupid. But like eventually he just started hitting me up again. And he came over, and I remember I bitched him out for fucking doing that to me. Like that's so fucked up. Like, if you didn't want to like date me anymore, if you didn't want to see me anymore, then just fucking like communicate. Like, you know. And I don't and then I don't remember anything after that. I think he kind of like laughed it off and acted like it was no big deal that he hurt my feelings. And then I think we hung out that night, and I have no memory of him whatsoever after that. No memory whatsoever. I don't think we ever hung out again. And I think after I was able to bitch him out, I was perfectly healed. Like, I was totally fine. I was over it. I got to say my piece, because that always makes me feel better when I can tell somebody about themselves and how they fucked up. And then I'm good. But I have no memory of him after that. And then I think sometime after that was when, like a few months later, was when Tiger came into the picture. But yeah, he was one of the people in my mind after me and Tiger got together that I was like, that's why it didn't work out with him or him or him or him. You know, they all wasted my time. And everything went the way it was supposed to go because I was supposed to be with Tiger. And then that just became abundantly clear to me. But I still didn't know what to do with Tiger. Even though it never felt too good to be true with him, I never had the feeling of when is the other shoe going to drop. I didn't have the same anxieties and insecurities like I had with the past guys. Like, everything just felt very comfortable, very safe with Tiger. He never felt like he was being performative. He never felt like he was trying too hard. He was just authentically being himself. And I remember I felt that, because with other guys before him, if they said like stupid shit like, oh, you know, you're the one I've been thinking about all day, or oh, you're so beautiful, or just, you know, something smooth, something charming, it always, like, I always saw right through that shit. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I'm sure you say that to all the girls, you know, I would say something like that. And I just never really believed them, but I didn't have anything else going on. So it was just like, whatever, I'll let this dumb fuckboy lie to me, you know? Cause like I wasn't fucking stupid. Like I could see right through that shit. I mean, was there still things that I needed to learn and red flags I needed to pay attention to? Sure. But with Tiger, when he would compliment me or say kind things to me or nice or sweet things to me, it never felt charming. It never felt like he was trying to get anywhere with me. It never felt performative. It never felt like fake or anything. Like, I knew with 100% certainty that I was the only person that he was talking to, that I was the only person that he was talking to in that way. He never left any room for me to question, spiral, overthink, nothing. I never had to wonder, why isn't he texting me back? Because he was always texting me. I never had to wonder, like, why hasn't he called me? Because he was always calling me. And it was just the right amount, like, just the right amount. You know, like, it wasn't suffocating. It wasn't overwhelming. Like, he was never too much. He was just the right amount for me. And he made me feel secure. I could rely on him. I could depend on him. I knew he was going to show up. But even though deep down I knew all this, I still didn't know what the fuck to do with him. There was still something in my nervous system that was still kind of unregulated and still scared, because all I had was bad ones. All I had was guys that lied to me, played games, cheated on me, whatever, tried to fuck my friends, whatever. So even though I could see the clear contrast difference between Tiger and these other dudes, this was still foreign territory for me. Like, what am I supposed to do with this guy? Like, he's so great, but he also scares the shit out of me because I'm not used to this. Like, didn't scare the shit out of me in a bad way, but scare the shit out of me in, like, I don't know what to do with you. Like, I'm not used to you. And so, yeah, I still had my trust issues. I still came with my baggage. I still tested him. I still threw everything in my arsenal at him, and he just caught everything perfectly. He handled it all perfectly. I don't think anybody could ever have taken all the shit that I was throwing at Tiger like Tiger was able to. Like, I say this all the time, like, there's nobody on the planet that can handle me like Tiger handles me. Nobody. Because I am a lot. A lot. And I can be a real fucking bitch too. I know that I can be. And nobody puts up with me or handles me or takes my shit like Tiger does. And he takes it like a G. G-O-A-T, okay? And he gets me. He hears me when I'm loud. He hears me when I'm silent. He hears me when I'm saying nothing at all. He hears me when I'm sad, angry, like, happy, whatever. Like, he sees me and he hears me. And he just gets me. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. Neither am I. But he's perfect for me. He's the kind of perfect that I needed. And so, what to do? What to do? Well, I can tell you what not to do. What not to do. I just... wow. Like, I know it's hard. It's hard to trust. It's hard to just relinquish insecurities. It's hard to just remove them. And there's no fast and easy way. Really, I think for me, it was time. It was time. Like, I had to be with him for a while, for my nervous system and my brain and everything to kind of start to click and communicate together that we are safe. This guy isn't going to hurt us. He's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to change up. He's not going to cheat. He's not going to flirt with my friends. He's not going to disrespect me. He's not going to harm me. He wasn't giving me any reason to think that he would do any of those things, but because I was used to being in survival mode, I was used to being mistreated, I was used to being disrespected or cheated on or talked to crazy. Like, even though he was giving me no inclination, no sign that he was, that he was, going to be what I was used to, it was still all my nervous system was used to. So even though he wasn't, doing anything to trigger me or make me think that he was going to be like I had before, like, my nervous system was still on alert, yeah. So yeah, for me, it was like just time. Like, you can't rush it. I mean, but definitely don't ignore the red flags. Definitely don't ignore the red flags, because you could think that the person that you're with checks all your boxes and shows up for you the way you need them to and all of that stuff. Like, it may appear that way, and they're making you happy and all of that, but still be on alert, and especially in the beginning, still pay attention to the red flags. Have standards, have boundaries. Don't freaking, you know, let them freaking, don't make them think that you're fucking like the Statue of Liberty and are like, bring me your hungry, bring me your broke boys, bring me your men with daddy issues and mommy issues, and, bring me your unfaithful and fool that won't get a job, Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't just be taking in all these unhealed, unregulated nervous system, have all types of issues and insecurities that they haven't worked through with a therapist or whatever. Don't do that. Like, don't. Because I feel like that will just delay you longer. Because you want to believe so bad that this person is your person and that they're the one that you're supposed to be with. No, don't do that. Like, it doesn't matter if for the first 6 weeks or the first 3 weeks things have been really good. Still be on alert. Still have your wits about you. Like, don't go looking for red flags. Don't go looking for issues, but still be aware, because that takes time. It takes time getting to know somebody and spending time with them and seeing them in all their different elements and all their different moods. Don't be so quick to like jump into something with somebody just because you're fucking lonely. I mean, yeah, being lonely sucks. Being on your own sucks. But like, you're just delaying your blessing further when you are wasting your time on somebody that's not truly for you. Like, if right out the gate from jump, they're displaying red flags and they're moving janky and doing some weird shit or projecting all their insecurities or mommy issues or daddy issues or whatever on you from out the gate, but then they mask all that drama, all those problems with like, oh, well, I take you places, I buy you dinner, or, I'm good in bed or whatever. Like, no. All those red flags that you chose to rug sweep, like, they didn't go anywhere. They will continue to pop up later. And by then you've been love bombed and you've like had the freaking wool put over your eyes by, a fucking expert narcissist or something. Like, don't do that. So, yeah. Even though in the beginning with Tiger, everything felt amazing and it felt organic and it felt real and genuine, I still, even though he wasn't giving me any reason to have my feelers up and like looking for red flags or anything like that, I was still making sure I was reserving myself a little bit. Even though he wasn't, like I said, he wasn't giving me any reason to be on alert or anything. After what I had been through, I think I was just already naturally that way a little bit, even though he was doing a great job of calming my nervous system. But like I said, it still took time. You can't rush that stuff, especially when you've had a history of having bad ones and then you have a good one, and it can be like scary and unfamiliar because you're like, is this person for real? Like, is this person for real? And it can be overwhelming and just kind of a shock to your system. But like I said, for me, I don't know, without meaning to, I threw everything in my arsenal at Tiger, and then I watched how he handled it all. And he handled it all beautifully. Like, I remember, being triggered not because he triggered me or meant to or anything like that. But I remember this is when I became, because I was safe, this is when I realized that all my triggers and stuff started to surface. And this is one of the ways that I really had to start learning that he was a real one, because of the way he responded and to my triggers and insecurities and stuff. And he didn't turn around and get angry at me or create further triggers or trauma for me. So there was this one time where I had called him and his phone had been sitting on his bed. He was in the other room with his niece and her then boyfriend, now husband, because they lived with him at the time. And he was in the other room talking to them. And I remember I called him and he didn't answer. And immediately my nervous system got completely unregulated and I started to flip the fuck out. Like my anxiety around my fear of being ignored, being ghosted immediately kicked in. And I just like was completely unregulated and just started freaking out. And so then I just kept calling him and calling him and calling him. And the more times I called and he didn't answer, the more freaked out I got. And I remember in my mind, I was thinking, he's ghosting me. He's ignoring me now. He doesn't want anything to do with me. He decided he doesn't like me. And he doesn't know how to tell me to my face. So he's just going to let me blow up his phone until he ignores or blocks me or something. And so, yeah, I started to flip out. And then I don't know if he just eventually called me back a few minutes later or if he answered. And I just remember I was ready to just let him have it. I was ready to blow up on him. And he handled it so well. And he was just like, I was just like, why didn't you answer? Like, I don't really remember exactly what was said because this was like a zillion years ago. But I was like, why didn't you answer the phone? And he was like, oh, babe, I'm sorry. Like, I was in the other room. I was talking. I'm not going to say people's names, but like he said his niece's name and her boyfriend's name. And he was like, I'm sorry. I left my phone on my bed. I didn't hear it. Like, are you okay? And then just by him having a calm tone and then asking me in a very calm, nice, are you okay? And I was just like, I immediately started to come down. And then I felt ridiculous because I was like, why the hell was I freaking out? But it's because it's what I was used to. I was used to being abandoned. I was used to being ghosted or ignored or somebody liking me one day and then throwing me away the next. And so that's what I was expecting. And so, yeah, when you are coming from having bad relationships and then having a good one, be aware that that kind of stuff will happen to you, especially if you are coming in with insecurities and baggage and trauma from past relationships. There will be times where your nervous system will get like unregulated, not on purpose, but these things will happen. And this is just stuff that you will have to heal and work through. I can tell you, don't get into a relationship until you've healed your stuff. But let's be honest, most people don't do that. Most people don't go inward and go, okay, this is all the scars that I came out with from my past relationship. I better not date yet. I better sit with myself for a while and heal and figure out who I am, what I want, what I don't want, and heal and work on things in me. Most people don't do that. Most people get into another relationship and bring all that stuff into the new relationship. So I'm most people. So that's what I did. I mean, yes, I had been single for a little bit before Tiger and I got together, but I still hadn't gone inward and started working on myself. I didn't know at the time that there was anything to work on. I didn't realize I had insecurities and baggage and trauma and triggers until I got with Tiger, because I was finally in a safe space and a safe relationship that all that stuff eventually surfaced. And it was like, oh yeah, I gotta heal all this. I gotta heal all this stuff, because it's not fair to be projecting it all on this like sweet, amazing man that's just trying to love me. And so, yeah. Um, I mean, my advice would be to look inward and figure out what your trauma and triggers and stuff are beforehand, before you get into another relationship. But that's not always reality. So, just be aware that if you have come to the point where you realize that you are in a safe, healthy, functioning, good relationship for the first time in your life, have grace, have patience with yourself, understand that heavy stuff may bubble to the surface at this point. It may start to, now that you are finally safe and your nervous system recognizes that it is safe. And like I said, allow yourself patience, allow yourself grace, allow yourself time. Like, if this person hasn't shown any red flags, if they haven't done anything to scare you or make you feel like you need to be on alert, if they are just there loving the ever living crap out of you and showing up for you in all the ways that you've always needed but didn't get before, and just checking all your boxes and just being fucking amazing, just know that your stuff may start to come to the surface. And, I recommend speaking to a professional if it starts to just really get in the way of your relationship or just the way that you feel. But if you have found your person, this isn't going to scare them. This isn't going to scare them away. This isn't going to deter them. They're going to be there for you no matter what. They're going to love you no matter what. They're going to continue to show up and be by your side no matter what. Even if all your stuff is now coming out and it's kind of being directed at them, even though they didn't cause all that pain. If they are your person, they're going to understand, and they're going to stay, and they're going to ride that out with you, and they're going to love you until you feel like you again. And they may have their own stuff that they also realized have come to the surface now, and so that's just, then you guys are just tasked with, healing and working through your stuff, so you guys can continue to blossom and grow your beautiful relationship. So yeah, but I get it. It's scary when you've just been used to having awful, dysfunctional, unhealthy relationships with people, and then you get into one that is healthy and it's beautiful and it's regulated and it's organic and flowing the way it should be. Love, when it's real, when it's right, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't leave you, bruised and scarred and confused and spiraling and unsure of yourself. It doesn't. Real love, when it's real, true, real, the right love for you, it doesn't make you feel unregulated. It doesn't make you feel unsafe. It doesn't make you feel like you need to dim your light or shrink yourself. It makes you feel seen, heard. You do the work in learning to regulate yourself while they're also helping regulate you. It feels healthy. It feels just beautiful. You wake up every day just feeling amazing. I remember with Tiger, I felt like when I get out of bed every day, I felt like I could freaking fly if I wanted to. That's how good it felt. And it still feels that way. Yeah, we're 13 years in and 5 years married, and we have kids and stress and car issues and money issues and what have you. And sometimes we're not communicating like we should, and we're arguing, or we're not seeing eye to eye, or whatever. But, real relationships, you argue sometimes, you have disagreements. There's days where you don't particularly like each other, but you continue to show up every single day and fall in love with that person over and over again every single day. And you continue to get up and do the work and continue to just try and vow to do better the next day, day after day after day. But in those beginning stages, those beginning years, you're still learning each other. You're still seeing every ins and out and aspect of who they are as a person, all their moods, all their, the whole entire personality that makes up them. And then when you've had a couple years with them, you see how they shift and change through hard times, losing a job, losing a loved one. You see how they shift and change and how they handle different things. And, you go through and ride that stuff out together. But yeah, like, I guess the best advice I can give looking back on that all being new for me, is you gotta just be patient with yourself. And because, yeah, one day it just clicked for me. I don't need to keep fighting this man. I don't need to keep throwing all my baggage and my triggers and my trauma at him and seeing how he reacts to it. I don't need to keep testing him. Like, he's proven to me time and time and time and time again that he's not going anywhere, that he loves me no matter what, that he's going to be here no matter what, no matter how difficult I am or how big of a fucking brat I am. He's not going anywhere. And it just kind of clicked for me one day, like, knock it off. Like, if you don't stop this, if you don't stop throwing your walls up, throwing your defenses up, saying things like, maybe we shouldn't be together. Maybe we should just break up. Or because I was operating from a very defensive place of anytime we had an argument, my mindset was, well, I'm going to leave you before you can leave me. I'm going to hurt you before you can hurt me. And so I would say things like, well, maybe we shouldn't be together. Maybe we should get a divorce. And Tiger never understood why I would go to that place. Like, why do you go there? Why do you do that? Like, we're just having a disagreement. We're just having an argument. Like, I don't want to not be with you. I love you. I don't want to get a divorce. I don't want to break up with you. Like, we're just having an argument. Like, why do you go to that extreme? But it's what I was used to. When you're used to being left, or when you're used to someone not fighting for you, that's just the place that you operate from. And so then having this completely different person from what I've always known before, having this completely different person that's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. It was like, what? Like you're fighting for me? Like, yeah. But yeah, that person that's for you, your person that was created just for you, like, they're not going to give up on you. That doesn't give you a pass or an excuse to treat them horribly or continue to test them and throw all your trauma and stuff and continue to be unhealed, because I believe that everybody reaches their breaking point. Everybody gets to a point where they're like, you know what? I'm fucking done, And even then, they may still love you after that, but everybody gets to that point. Everybody eventually gets to that point. So don't do that. The person that's loving you the way you were always meant to be loved, if it gets to a point where you have just been testing them and throwing all that trauma and stuff at them for years and years and years and years and years, you definitely need to look inward and go do the work with a professional and begin to heal, because there may come a day where that person that has loved you unconditionally and completely all those years and has proven to you time and time again how much they love you, and they're not going anywhere and they're not going to abandon you, but you just keep pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. Because even I know there's been times where I've been like, girl, you better stop. Like, this man can only be pushed so many times. He's gonna, and he has gotten to that point. There has been times over the years where I have really pushed him and he's been like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know how much more times I can prove to you how much I fucking love you and how much I want to be with you. So if you want to tell me again that you're done, then fine, And I mean, we're obviously still together, so we worked through those intense moments, but I understand why he finally got to those places when he got there, because I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Everybody has their breaking point. So when you have a good one, when you have your person and you're still unhealed and unregulated, keep that in mind, that there may come a day where they will say they're done, and they're done. And they're done. And then you lost a good one, you know? So if you recognize in you that you have insecurities, that you have unhealed aspects of you that you project onto your partner, you need to go get some help. You need to go take care of yourself. You need to go speak to someone, work with someone that can help you. So yeah. But, be patient. Give yourself grace. Wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself all the love that you didn't get either in your childhood or in past relationships. You're worth it. You're worth loving. You matter. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be loved and cared about and fought for. But you have to know that. You have to believe that and give that love to yourself. Show up for yourself. See and hear yourself. Love the ever-living shit out of yourself. So when somebody else is trying to love the ever-living shit out of you, you don't fight it, and it doesn't scare the shit out of you. You know? That's why healing is so fucking important. But I'm going to call it here. One of these days, I will make one of these episodes only 30 minutes long, But if you've been rocking with me through this whole thing, I appreciate you. You're a real one. And like I've said in past episodes, I appreciate all the positive feedback I've been getting. I love the messages that I've received about how my podcast has, resonated with you. And I love hearing your personal stories and stuff like that. So, keep sending those to me. Keep sharing that with me. I appreciate it. And as I always say, be fucking kind. Be fucking kind. We don't know what other people are going through. So just be there for others. And if the best you can do is be kind, then please be fucking kind. Or shut the fuck up. If you can't be kind to somebody, just don't say nothing. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. But I will see y'all on the next one. Thanks for listening to another episode with Play With Your Dick, Not Me. Love y'all. Bye.